start our today's lecture. In the last lecture, we discussed what is MIS, what are its benefits, and different components of MIS, means Management Information System. Today, what we are going to see is the importance of MIS, why MIS is important, what are different techniques used for storage mechanism. So we are going to see one them. So data security in many organizations is very important. Why it is very important? If the data is not secure, you can face major losses in future. For example, if someone leak the formula of your organization product and someone else replicate that product with a label of unique, so you are going to face a major loss rate. So that's why the security of the data, whether the data is related to employees or organization, uh, anything that is related to business that is very crucial for your organization should be secure. And for data security, how you can make your data more secure, we have different techniques that we are going to see. The first one is backup. What does the backup means? Backup means to copy your data from one location to another location. For example, in your PCs, there is an option of data backup. Now, why that option is available there? Whatever you do on your system, it is going to store into a copy of that content will be stored in your hard drive at a specific space. Now, what happens? Let's suppose your window crashes or due to some reason you lost your data. Now, if you have backup the data, so whenever you restore your window or operating system, any operating system, then you can restore that data. That is the benefit of backup. Now, backup data can also be lost if it is in your hard drive. So what if the hard drive crashes? So your backup data can also be lost. So for doing the backup of data, one of the most modern approach that is used in today's world is cloud computing. We prefer to store our data on cloud. So whether the hard drive crashes, whether our system goes down, or we lost our different electronic gadgets, our data is not going to lose. For example, Google Drive in your mobile phones or in different systems, when you log in with any Google account, there is an option of Google Drive. So you can use that feature for storing or uploading the data on cloud so that your data can be more secure. So we have different techniques to back up the data. So that's why it is very critical whether your business is small, whether it is a large business. So data is very critical. And what does the backup means? To copy all the needy or necessary data somewhere so that you can preserve that data, and if anything bad happens in the future, you can restore your data. The next thing what we have is archives. Archives means, now archive is similar to backup, but there is a big difference between backup and archive. Archive means you can store your data, erase the data that is not currently needed. For example, in WhatsApp, we have a feature called archive chats. What you do there, you transfer your all the chats that you don't want, that are not needed in the current time, but in future or later, you can use that. So that is the meaning of archive. To store the data somewhere that is not currently needed, but it can be used in the future. Now, what is the difference between archive and backup? Now, backup means we can do the recovery of the recent data. But whereas the data archive means it focuses on preserving the older, less used data. Means the data that is not used much. We secure that, but we don't back up that. Means it didn't create a copy of that archive chat, but what it will do, the chat or the data that you don't use frequently, you transfer that in the archive folder. Means that data is much older, but I don't currently need it. But maybe in future I need that, so that's why I will preserve it somewhere. That is archive. Whereas backup means to copy your important data somewhere that is very important to you. For example, it can be different passwords. You copy that to multiple places so that in order, if you forget some passwords, you can use them. So similarly, sometimes we copy our pin codes at different places. If we forget the pin code, we can use them. So that is the example of backup. Backup means we copy our data to some place, and whenever we need that, we can use that. Whereas archive means to store some older data that is not frequently used. But in future, we can use that. That is archive. So these are the two different ways of storing the data. Then hack. Now, hacking means stealing of some data. There are multiple kinds of hacking. Means any unauthorized user. Unauthorized user is a person who is not allowed to use the data. And that person going to access the data without the permission of the owner of data. That is the meaning of unauthorized. Now, what these unauthorized people will do, for example, your organizational data is very important. And your competitors, what they are trying to do, they want to steal your data so that they can do something harmful against your company or organization. So they use different techniques to steal your data. That is called hacking. Now, in simple words, we can say that stealing the data is known as hacking. So what the hackers will do, hackers will steal the data. That is very important to you without any permission. So for protecting the data from these hackers, we use some different techniques how we can protect our data from them. Now we have different kind of hackings. One is the ethical hacking. You might listen about this word, and one is the unethical hacking. Ethical hacking is used in cybersecurities to protect the data from external attacks. So hacking that is used for a good purpose is called ethical. And non-ethical means we want to steal someone else's data for a wrong purpose. That is an unethical hack. So how they can harm your data by injecting different viruses in your systems or by hacking your IP addresses. So in this way, these hackers can steal the data. So that's why it is very important to protect your data from that unauthorized access. Now, what are the mechanisms that are used against hacking? For example, in your systems, there is an option of Window Defender Firewall. Now, why it is used? Have you ever wondered? The use of this firewall is to protect your system from any incoming unauthorized networks or applications. For example, whenever you install any new application, there might be a notification on your Windows screen that Window Defender have blocked the access of uh, that application. If you want to install in the system, then you have to click the allow, or if you don't, then block that. So in this way, it is going to protect our systems from any unauthorized activity. There are multiple ways that are used to protect uh, the data from hacking. For example, a strong authentication issue means authentication means whenever you click on the for example, you have created any account on your social media applications or anywhere else. What you do, you have to log in with your username or password. So that is a way of authentication. Means the user have to verify itself that it is the authorized one or not. And if any password or username is wrong, the access is not granted to you. That is called authentication or authenticate a user to protect the data from unauthorized access. Then the ethical use of information. You should use the information for the right purpose. Now, plagiarism and copyrights both are used to protect your information. Now, why copyrights are used? Maybe someone else use your product or your data and want to present that data as their own. So for that purpose, people do copyrights for their things so that they cannot take the credit of your work. So these are the different techniques that are very important in data storage. Then DPA, Data Processing Agreement. So DPA is a contract between two companies that if they need some personal data to process, for example, you need some personal data of different customers to build a software. So you need their permission. Without their permission, you cannot proceed. So DPA is an argument that may contain different clauses that how much personal data you are going to use, when you are going to use, how much information you are going to disclose to the public. So these are all the clauses that are written in this DPA. Whenever the organization is going to use the personal data of another person, then this agreement is signed between both parties. So the purpose is to protect both the customers by setting out the clear expectations. For example, due to some reason, their data is being used with some illegal purpose. So if there is any clause mentioned already in the that agreement, so they cannot uh, sue you or use that against you. So these are the importance of compliances with legal and organizational requirements. Whenever you are using any management information system, we have to uh, keep in view all of these points that how you are going to store your data, how you are going to deal with unauthorized access, how you are going to uh, make sure that the information is only used for ethical purpose, and whether you have a DPA agreement with any other organization that is working with you or not. So these are all the things that you have to consider whenever you are going to create any management information system. So if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, no questions. Now, the next topic here is the different advantages of using a management information system. Now, here we have different management information systems. The first one is the enterprise system. Now, what is an enterprise system? It is a software that is going to use on a large scale, is going to use for a large scale business that is used to support different business processes, their functions that are going to uh, happen within an organization. For example, we take an example of different bigger companies, just like Microsoft, Google. They have a very large enterprise system or management information system because they have to manage their systems all over the world. That one contains billions or trillions of data, multiple functions. Then they have to handle their multiple employees there. So that can be a large amount of work, data, information. So they required a very large number, a software that can work on a large scale. So that is the enterprise system. Here, in the terms of large scale business, the MIS is known as the enterprise system. Now, there are different benefits of using the enterprise system, just like the integration of business processes. Now, in enterprise system, we have various functions like finance, human resources, then sales. Here, the enterprise system, as we know, is used for large scale business. The requirement of the customer is the software can handle a large amount of work. Now, integration of business processes. Now, there are different processes that involve in business. Means they need a software that will handle the finance, the salaries of different employees, the capital amount of their organization, the all the wages that they have to handle. So that they need a software for finance. If there is not a specific software, then the business is going to messed up. Then for human resources, the needs of their employees, new hiring, if there is any termination of old employees. So there can be a lot of things in human resource department. Then sales, to keep a track of all these sales, to keep a track how many sales are going for 1 year, 2 year, all that data. Then supply chain management means the supply, how many vendors are involved in your business. You have to also deal with them. Then your CRM means customer relationship management, means how you're going to deal with the customer. All these things have to be managed. All of these things have to be managed by the that a single software. So that software should be created on a very large scale. So what these enterprise systems will do, they will contains different features for each and every department to handle each and every department so that the work process of the business can go smoothly. So that's why it will improve the efficiency. It will ensure that the data flows between the different departments without any ambiguity, without any problem. So that's why it is the benefit of using the enterprise system, because it is going to manage or use uh, and handle this work easily. Then centralized data management. Centralized means we have two kinds of data management techniques. The first one is the centralized, and Second one is the decentralized data. So let's see what is the difference between centralized and decentralized data. Now, what the centralized means, you bring all the data into one place. So you can easily manage that data. For example, you are running an organization and you have different branches of that organization into each and every city of your country. And in the headquarters, you gather the data of each and every branch. How many employees are there, how many profit you gain, how many loss you are going to face in a specific branch, everything. You bring that each and every data in your headquarters. For managing that data means you have to manage the data of all the branches. You have to take care of all the employees all over your country. And for managing that data, we use centralized data management. We need that. That is only provided by that enterprise management systems. They provide such kind of features so that you can manage all the data at the one place. Now, what does decentralized mean? The data can be managed at their own places. Means the branch owner will uh, is going to manage that data. So, and the centralized means you bring the data all together at one place. Then, why to use enterprise system? It will improve your decision making. Means this system will provide the real time data and analytics. Means your system, this what this enterprise system will do, you might see a feature of feedback. If you download any new application, if you want to download a new any software, so there is an option of feedback. You write some comments there whether you are enjoying or rate that software. That rating or that feedback is directly going to that organization, non softwares, and that is the real time feedback access. Means there you write your feedback, at the same time they get that data. That is the real time. Now, what is the real time communication? Let me simplify it for you. For example, I am communicating you in the real time. Means uh, we can you can listen my voice, you can view this lecture. uh, this is the real time communication. Similarly, whenever you write a comment, that is directly at that same time that data approaches to that software. That is the real time data access. So it will improve the decision making if they get the accurate data at a very accurate time, so they can make changes on the base of that data. So that's why enterprise management systems can improve our decision making. Then, for sure, it will increase their productivity and efficiency because the routine here is automated. Means the daily tasks that on the daily basis that have done in within the organization, if it is automated, then for sure the productivity is going to increase. The errors can be minimized. There are different kind of works or tasks that is performed on daily basis within the organization. For example, the daily performance report of employee should be generated. The daily attendance of the employees should be generated. So such kind of things, the daily progress is also tracked. So these are the things that are done on routine basis. So enterprise system will automate that task. It will generate the report itself. It will take the attendance itself. It will mark the attendance of employees itself automatically. It will assign the tasks to each and every employee itself. Now, what will happen? If you use a person or a human being for these words, it might do some mistakes. Maybe he forget to do a important tasks, a routine tasks. So that will lead to any specific loss. So if we automate everything, it will for sure increase our productivity. So that is the benefit of using the enterprise system.